We live in a time where authenticity is no longer felt, it's filtered. Instagram posts don't just capture moments, they dress them up with film grain and faded edges to mimic the look of old photographs. Social media platforms sell us digital nostalgia as if it were heritage. But what they're really selling is trust. We are conditioned to believe that a photo feels real because it looks imperfect. And so we accept these simulations not as artifice, but as truths. The demand for human imperfections in AI as a detail in an image that pricks us, pulling us into personal memory, even when we know it's not ours. That same mechanism is at play in digital artifices. We're emotionally triggered by grainy edges and faded scans because they echo the sensory markers of our own remembered pasts. But these are not real memories. They're designed to feel like them. We don't just see them, we relate, we trust. We even mourn for fictions dressed up as truth. The paradox is that in a world where everything can be perfect, when we trust a digitally constructed past, we become complicit in its decay. The nostalgia mode, as Frederick Jameson called it, doesn't just look back. It replays the past on loop with new effects. We can't even experience our own present without adding digital patina to make it feel real enough. What's worse is that this simulated decay begins to bleed into our actual memory systems. When everything feels old before it's had time to be, how do we distinguish between what we remember and what was made? Neil Postman warned us long ago. When technology changes how we remember, it redefines what memory is. Our tools don't just store information, they curate our emotional engagement with the past. Now we find ourselves drawn to digital recreations, not because they're true, but because they feel true. The more something resembles a memory, the less we question its accuracy. In this new world, simulation isn't an imitation of life. It's the only life we recognize.
The Yamaha QI910 of 1992 was a revolutionary handheld sequencer that democratized music production, combining real time.
Just this week, a CBS evening news segment highlighted an AI-generated film titled Dreams of Violets. It cost $2,000 to make and took just 2 months. By today's standards, that feels like lightning in a bottle. But it's also a sign we're approaching the point where memory becomes a commodity. not just preserved, not just remembered, but manufactured at scale. We used to worry about faked film reels or doctored photographs. Now we have algorithms trained on nostalgia, trained to mimic the grain of cellular menus. Job number 3. That voice is a relic of early digital music automations. But it's also the ancestor of today's algorithmic composers. The same logic that once generated simple loops now composes full scores and forges historical narratives with eerie precision. We hear a click, feel a rhythm, recognize the pattern, and trust we're hearing something real. But this is code learning to lie in human tones. What was once considered uncanny valley has moved into uncanny memories, omission and detection. Neil Postman warned that technology doesn't just outperform older tools, it renders them irrelevant. But in the realm of memory, irrelevance is a problem we didn't expect. If you can't tell whether a photo was taken last week or fabricated yesterday, if your memories are increasingly mediated through systems that don't remember truthfully, but convincingly, then what's left to trust? The line between preservation and performance blurs, not just in art, but in identity itself.
Like this. Menu, job number 3. Create measures.
We've trained our systems to mimic nostalgia, glitchy filters, analog noise, grain that isn't real, but feels like something we lost. What if this imitation of memory decay is not just aesthetic, but functional? A way for machines to simulate forgetting without ever actually doing it. The irony thickens when we treat these digital memories as reliable, even sacred. We trust them because they feel familiar. But familiarity can be a kind of lie, especially when the system knows exactly what you want to remember and why. Explains the precision of data control with phrases like operational efficiency and minimized waste. But what do we lose when our recollections are optimized too? In a technopoly, memory is no longer personal. It becomes just another data set, indexed, searchable, sortable. Every moment that once blurred at the edges has its metadata cleaned up, tagged for easy access, and filed under your identity. The problem isn't forgetting. It's the illusion of remembering without any ambiguity. The paradox is this: the more real our digital memories feel, the less reason we have to believe them. These perfect recollections, free of confusion or contradiction, are suspiciously clean, like a museum exhibit where nothing ever changes. We lose what makes memory human: the distortions, omissions, and emotional weight that make it meaningful in the first place. Baudrillard had warned that culture becomes hyperreality when we confuse simulation for truth. But if our memories are just stockpiles of curated data,